Greetings and salutations, and welcome back to our walkthrough / tutorial of Europa Universalis 4 with RedBstrd as Delhi. So where we last left off, we're discussing sieges. So each month that a city is under siege, the computer rolls a die. It tells us here that it's a die. Results in some sort of outcome between 1 and 14. And to that number, we add some sort of modifier to see what happens to the city. If that total roll is 20 or higher, sorry, cat is being vocal. I assume you guys can hear that. I'm not sure what the issue is, but I'll give him a little bit of attention, and hopefully he will not talk through our video, because his EU4 skills are low and his feedback is not very valuable. Okay, anyway, the computer rolls a die as a result between 1 and 14 randomly, and it adds some sort of modifier to that that tells what happens to the city. If the total number comes up as 20 or higher, the city surrenders to us. If not, something else could happen. If we roll a 1, then our troops suffer an outbreak of disease, and some of them will die. If we roll 14, however, we will breach the walls of the city and get nice bonuses for our siege. Other numbers within the range will produce some outcome, like if we roll a 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, or 11, which is a 50% chance of the number coming up in that range, they will start to run out of supplies. And we will get some sort of bonus. We'll get +1 to all of our subsequent rolls. But if we roll 12 or 13, they start to run out of food, and we will get +2 to all of our subsequent rolls. Let's take a look at that. We'll just watch how that goes. And we can see here, it's keeping track of the siege period. Every 30 days, we should see something happen. Let's keep an eye out for what happens in the next 5 days. We're going to see yellow words that tell us something. We come up the next 2 days. Status quo. So we roll 2 through 4, nothing happens. And why is this -42? Because there's no chance that we could roll 20. And let's watch, see what happens here. Supply shortage. So we rolled somewhere in the 5 through 11 range, which had a supply shortage, and gave us a +1 bonus. So it was 1 to 14 -1 before, now it's just 1 to 14. And we wait. Again. And let's see what result comes up. Food shortage. Okay, so we got +2 to our rolls from that. So now we're rolling essentially 3 through 16. Still no chance that we can produce 20 on that number range, so we have to wait for more bonuses to come up. And this is just going to keep happening every month. Let's see what happens. So here's the next month. Supply shortage. We get +1 to our roll. Now we're rolling 4 to 17. And closer to the city surrendering, but it's going to take, clearly, a number of months. Water shortage. So that gave us a +2 bonus. Now we're rolling 7 to 20. So if we actually roll the maximum, which there's a 7% chance that's going to happen, then the city will surrender. That's why the 7 number is here. Again, we'll wait and see what happens. And again, we are, click on show the province. We're each month looting some of the wealth of this province. So we can just press here to take a look at the siege again. We're waiting. Take a look at that in a second. Food shortage. So now there's a 21% chance with our 9 to 22 range. We could roll 20, 21, or 22, and the chance of that happening is 21%, but the city will surrender. And I'll update from 7 to 21 in a sec, once we unpause it. Okay, so we've been informed that our ulama, our clergy class, has lost some influence in our country. Okay. It's one thing I said, uh-oh, that's not good about, that I didn't comment on at the time, was that Timurids, this huge red blob to the west of us, warned us that if we invade any of their neighbors, they might join the war on the other side. So if we invade Multan, that is a neighbor of Timurids. The Timurids could help Multan. They've threatened to do so in an effort to intimidate us. Let's watch what's going on in the siege once again. So 4 more days. Water shortage. So now we're rolling between 12 and 25, and there's a 42% chance that number is going to be 20 or greater. Okay, so Multan has fabricated some documents that are clearly forgeries to claim that this province should rightfully be theirs. So they now have cause to invade us to try recapturing that province. Let's see what happens here. 2 days. Okay, the number that came up was 20 or higher, so it just surrendered to us. And now we can pursue a peace deal. See how long has this video been going on? 8 minutes? Let's do that. So what can we do? Well, right up here in the right-hand corner, don't click on the white flag. Click on the right-hand corner. I wish they would move that. Put some space between them. This is our peace deal screen. We can demand certain things from them, or if we're losing the war, we could offer certain things towards them that they might want to make the pain stop. And we could just, like, if we want to take a province from them in a war, we can just click on the province. If that's ours, give it back. We can click on them both, or we could just select them off the list. Now, anything that we take in a war, province like this, will upset other nations. And that's represented in game by the term aggressive expansion. That we will upset nearby countries between 1 and 15 points. So it'll take like 1 to 15 points off of the relations of nearby countries. And if they get upset enough with us, they could form what's called a coalition, a defensive military alliance aimed at standing up to aggressive nations. Depending on what kind of war you're waging, your options of what you can do might be limited. We're doing a war conquest, so we're going to take both of their provinces. However, it warns us that we're taking something we didn't have a claim to. Kashmir. So it's going to cost us some of our diplomatic power. We'll upset people, we'll get some more prestige, we'll learn, or people will respect us a little bit more. And we can also empty out their treasury. So we can take 75 ducats from them. Gives us a check mark here if they would accept, or a red X if they would not, and it will tell us why. The reason they will accept this is they're utterly defeated. They have no possibility of turning this war around, they have no allies, they have no troops, they control no territory. So they would accept basically whatever we demand. Let's send off that demand. Wait a day. That gives us an overview of the war. We lost 2,260 men, most of which were to disease, attrition. They lost 5,000 men, all of which were killed in combat. That gives us an overview of the war. We demanded their full annexation and their money. Now those rogues in Jampur are trying to fabricate claims on our territory. Shame on them. Okay, so we've conquered some territory. This province we have a core on. We have a right to call it ours. However, this one, we have no local people that are loyal to us. We have no nobles there that can remember back when their grandfathers or whatever served our monarchy. This has never been ours. It's not our core. So we have to extend some administration over it. And that's called making something into a core, adding a core there. This place we had a core, consider it one of our core provinces. We can make one here. And it costs us a little bit of our administrative power and takes 18 months. Until we do that, at minimum, 3/4 of all of the wealth and economic life going on in that province will not flow to our capital. It'll just utterly be lost. And while we have territory that we have no core on, it will add to overextension. This gives us, you can see in red, all sorts of nasty modifiers. The more overextended we are, the bigger of a pain it is. We want to extend some administration over this territory. So that takes 45 of our administrative power. It'll take us 18 months, but we can work on that. Okay, so we have defeated them in a war, and I should note that we have a chance now of unrest. And that's reflected in an alert, but there's a 10% chance here. That's what the 10 unrest represents. 10% chance each month that the local population will organize in preparation for a war. Or an uprising, rather. So, we see these guys, the separatists of Kashmir. Every month, they have a 10.1. The numbers are slightly different, I'm not sure exactly why. But about a 10% chance that they will organize 10% of the way towards rising up. And it tells us what they're fighting, what they would be fighting for. They're Kashmiri separatists. They want to create an independent Kashmir again. These guys, no unrest. They don't care. There's a portion of the population that view themselves as Delians. And now I'd really like to invade Multan. We've been warned by the Timurids that they might intervene. So let's take a look. What would happen if we were to invade? Let's open up diplomacy and hit declare war, and it tells us We've been warned by the Timurids, so they may intervene. We can see here, yes, Timurids would intervene. Nagaur would try to defend. Multan, Sind, down here, would try to defend them. So we are going to bracket that idea for now. And let's plan out war with a different target. So I can see that there's a nation of Kangra right here that has no allies. We don't have any cores here, no reason to declare war on them. But like our rivals have been doing on us, we can make one. Let's go to diplomacy. And we're going to build a spy network in their country, which will grow a little bit each month. And then once it gets to 20, we can fabricate a claim. We can forge documents alleging that we should own Kangra, and then we can send our armies in to enforce that claim. So, do we want to send a spy here? Of course. And how far into it are we? 16 minutes. Let's see if we can get a few more minutes of life out of this video. Okay, Jingladesh is our subject. Maywat is our ally and friend. And they're letting us know if we buddied up to them enough, they would agree to be our subject as well. They'd become a vassal. So that's pretty nice. Okay, and we're just going to unpause it and let things go as they may. It's unfortunate that the Timurids warned us. They'd really like to attack Multan, and we just can't at the moment. We could potentially turn on Dundar without defeat. Fight Maywar. That might not be too bad of a problem. And why do I worry about the Timurids? Well, you can look at the size of them relative to us. And in our ledger down here, we saw the Timurids did have the largest army in the world. It looks like Ming did a massive military buildup in China. But the Timurids have the second largest army in the part of the world that we can see. Hey, we're going to increase the speed to 4. We got an event. So our bourgeoisie, our merchant class, has requested privileges. We could give them those privileges, which would make them happy, but anger our nobility. We could deny them, which would anger our merchants and please emirs or nobility. Or, since our leader, Balul I, is a charismatic negotiator, we could actually talk with them and try to resolve these problems, making both the merchants and the emirs more loyal. But it costs us a little bit of our administrative and diplomatic power. Let's do that. We need some opportunities to expand. Multan would have been a great target. That's just not in the cards at the moment. Now, we do get a little bit of information from other nations, but we could choose who provides us with that information. I'm going to click on Timurids as an example, and they have their little flag here. You can right-click on it and either mark this until it's gold to turn it on, or unmark it so that's turned off. And what that does is indicates that you are particularly interested, with special interest in what's going on in that nation. So if we want to know what's going on in Multan, already listed. We want to know what's going on in Jampur. We want to know what's going on in Balochistan, Bamanis, Bengal, and Jampur. And usually your neighbors, it has them already marked that way at game start. Okay, how far are we into this? 20 minutes. I think we're going to do a slightly shorter video this time, because I do need to take a break. I've got a real-life responsibility that I need to do right now. So thank you for watching, and we will return before too long. I'll probably wait a few days, so these won't be, when I take breaks, you guys shouldn't feel it. It should be done, uploaded at a different pace and frequency than the actual recording. But regardless, thank you for watching. If you found any of this information useful, please consider liking the video and/or subscribing to my channel.